Corporeal. Adjective. Having a physical body rather than being only spiritual or abstract. He treated dance as a corporeal art, all breath, weight, and balance. Redolent. Adjective. Strongly suggestive of something by smell or association. The kitchen was redolent of garlic and rosemary when guests arrived with chilled wine. Inclement. Adjective. Unpleasantly cold, wet, or stormy. The inclement weather turned the roads slick, and the headlights caught sheets of rain that made every mile feel longer than the map promised. Converge. Verb. To move toward the same point and meet. Three paths converge at the old oak, where hikers rest in its shade. Misconstrue. Verb. To interpret something in the wrong way. She worried colleagues would misconstrue her quietness as disapproval, so she followed up with a note explaining she was still processing. Mellow. Adjective. Soft, warm, and pleasantly gentle in mood or sound. By late evening the trumpet had taken on a mellow tone, drifting through the open hall and settling softly among the folded chairs. Rescind. Verb. To officially cancel a decision or agreement. When the invitation rested on a mistaken date, the hosts rescinded it gently and sent a new card with the correct evening inked in green. Diplomatic. Adjective. Tactful, skilled at sparing others' pride. His diplomatic jokes softened the refusal, and nobody left the table feeling slighted. Adroit. Adjective. Clever and skillful in action or thought. He was adroit with rope, and the tent held fast through the storm. Incumbent. Adjective. Required as a duty or responsibility. It was incumbent on her to call the client before rumors spread, so she stepped into the hallway, found a patch of quiet, and told the truth without decoration. Litigate. Verb. To take a dispute to a court of law. They chose to litigate rather than settle, and the legal fees climbed within weeks. Collaborate. Verb. To work together with others toward a shared goal. Several departments had to collaborate closely, aligning timelines and agreeing on what success would look like before they touched the implementation. Guarded. Adjective. Careful about revealing thoughts or feelings. Her answers stayed guarded at first, and only when the cafe emptied did she begin to speak more freely over the cooling cups. Prudent. Adjective. Careful and sensible about avoiding needless risk. It was prudent to test the ice with a stick before letting the dog run ahead across the pond. Consensus. Noun. General agreement reached by a group. They reached consensus after everyone named their concerns, and the final decision reflected trade-offs that most people could live with. Sustain. Verb. To keep something going over time. To sustain momentum after the launch, they scheduled regular check-ins and tracked a few meaningful metrics instead of chasing every number. Influx. Noun. A large number of people or things arriving in a short time. An influx of visitors filled the narrow streets, and the baker started rising before dawn to keep the shelves from going bare. Innate. Adjective. Present from birth as a natural part of someone. Her innate curiosity showed in how she examined every object at the market, asking gentle questions that made strangers smile. Sedition. Noun. Speech or action that stirs people to rebel against lawful authority. The pamphlet crossed the line from protest into sedition, and the printers knew it. Brusque. Adjective. Speaking in a blunt way that can seem rude. His brusque reply in the crowded shop made her step back, but she saw his hands shaking as he searched for the right coins. Detrimental. Adjective. Causing harm or damage. Skipping sleep felt detrimental after the third night, and he could hear his own thoughts turning sluggish as the screen glowed too bright in the dark room. Commence. Verb. To begin something in an official or deliberate way. The music teacher waited until the hall quieted, then tapped her baton, and the spring concert commenced with a chord that settled like dust motes in the light. Consternation. Noun. A sudden worried feeling when plans fall apart. She stared at the cancelled flight on the screen in silent consternation. Imminent. Adjective. Likely to happen very soon. With lightning imminent over the prairie, they lowered the tent poles, counted seconds between flash and thunder, and debated whether to wait it out or run for the car. Relegate. Verb. To assign something to a lower priority or less important position. He relegated the chipped mug to the back of the cupboard, reaching instead for the blue glazed one that caught morning light on the sill. Fervent. Adjective. Showing strong and heartfelt feeling. She gave a fervent defense of the local clinic, her voice low but steady as the waiting room filled with the rustle of winter coats. Instigate. Verb. To cause something, often trouble or conflict, to begin. One careless comment was enough to instigate an argument, and it took a patient facilitator to bring the group back to the main agenda. Contend. Verb. To argue or struggle with a problem that resists an easy solution. They had to contend with broken equipment and shifting deadlines, yet the team still delivered by narrowing the scope and staying steady. Exuberant. Adjective. Full of lively energy and joy. The children were exuberant after the first snow, racing down the hill until their cheeks burned and their laughter turned into little clouds. Headstrong. Adjective. Stubbornly self-willed and hard to guide. The headstrong colt kept pulling toward the gate, and the trainer responded with patient circles until the animal finally chose calm over stubborn momentum. Egress. Noun. A way out, or the act of going out. A blocked egress turned a small kitchen fire into a front-page story about code violations. Daunt. Verb. To make someone feel intimidated or less confident. The steep switchbacks did not daunt her, and she kept climbing with steady breaths until the lookout opened like a window over the valley. Omit. Verb. To leave something out deliberately or by mistake. She did not omit the uncomfortable detail from her statement because the truth felt easier to carry than a story that might unravel later. Fortify. Verb. To strengthen something against problems or attack. To fortify the plan. They added a backup vendor and a clear escalation process for nights when shipments ran late. Expedite. Verb. To make an action or process happen sooner or with less delay. To expedite the passport renewal, she paid for overnight shipping, triple-checked the photo rules, and uploaded documents before the office opened. Turbulent. Adjective. Full of disorder, strong motion, or emotional unrest. The flight turned turbulent over the mountains, and loose cups rattled on the trays while clouds closed around the wing. That's everything for this session. If this helped you, subscribe for more. See you next time.